today I'm going to do a beautiful release class. I've got lots of you that have got niggling hip, hip flexors strains or pains or side pains or back pains. All of these little issues, you need to do your release work to make sure they go away. Otherwise, if you just keep on doing the Pilates exercises without doing the release work, these things will get worse or they definitely won't get better. So today my class is designed about that. You need a little ball, you need a cushion, and you need a mat. So we're going to start with one of my favourite exercises, which is a quadricep stretch. It's super fundamental for a healthy body, and you'll notice that normally I do it in the studio every time I do a class. So we're going to start by taking the knee down to the cushion. Okay. You want to make sure that your hips are level, that this hip isn't hitching, this hip is dropped. Then you're going to tuck your pelvis under, and we're just going to stay here for 30 seconds. Okay, so what am I stretching? I'm stretching my quadriceps. I'm stretching the psoas is coming down here, so I'm stretching the tail of the psoas, and I'm passively stretching my ITB band as well. So for me, this exercise this stretch is one of the most important stretches you can do, and I would always do this before any Pilates workout that I do. Okay, I'm going to change sides. The foot's going to go on the couch, the knee's there. Now obviously the further this knee goes back towards the couch, the stronger the stretch. So we're going to start a little bit further out rather than going straight into the strongest part. Drop the hip, tuck under, and enjoy. And I think also people get this feeling that if it feels good, it's not doing anything. This is completely the wrong way of thinking. If it feels good, it is doing something. So like, take advantage of doing this nice stuff and doing the hard stuff. 10 more seconds. You can see that by this tucking action, it's bringing the tail of the psoas. The psoas is finishing down here. It's starting inside of the lumbar spine. I'm going to change sides. And this stretch is basically like if you were doing it on the barrel or doing a standing position, a quadricep stretch like that. It's the same thing, but for me, this is much more effective for my body. I'm going to take the knee a little bit closer towards the chair. I'm going to tuck under, and now I'm going to lift my arm up, which is going to be pulling inside of the psoas, so the top of the psoas. So the psoas is going here, and by reaching my arm up, it's now lengthening. It's getting hot. Summer. I love it. Okay, now we're just going to make a gentle little tip to the side, and by doing that gentle little tip, we're going to start stretching into the quadratus lumborum in the side, which creates lots and lots of back problems when it's tight. Come back up, changing sides. So those of you that do partake in Zoom classes, if you have time, this would be a great stretch to do before we start the Zoom class. It's a really good way of warming the body up in lots of different areas. Tucking under, elongating the arm. You should feel that cluster of all those hip flexors stretching in there. And then we tip. So you can see this is super multifunctional. I've got my quad stretching, I've got my psoas stretching, I've got a passive ITB stretch, and then I've also got my quadratus lumborum stretching. Coming out of it, coming all the way out. Okay, so we're going to lay on our backs for a little while, and we're going to start by using the ball to release. Where are we going to start with? We're going to start with the quadratus lumborum that's running through the sides of our back. It's a big chunky muscle, and I'm going to put some pictures up today so you can see what these muscles look like. Big chunky muscle either side. Normally the trigger points are on the edge of the muscle, and it's up to you to find those trigger points. Usually when you hit a trigger point, a QL trigger point, it'll take your breath away. So we're going to lay on our backs. I'm going to drop to the side slightly, and now I'm going to come up and on top of the ball. And now I'm going to search around and find a painful spot. And then when I find a painful spot, I'm going to sit on it for a little while. Now you'll notice also, when I do my release work, I like to move a little bit. I'm not often just stationary. There's a little bit of motion that happens because I'm looking for my trigger, but I'm also looking to keep the fascia moving, which is over the muscle. And sometimes we have trigger points and we have muscle problems, but then we also have tight fascia, which creates another level of pain again. Okay, now I'm going to do this for a short period of time on each time, so now would be a good time to stop the video and to continue doing this for maybe 2 to 3 to 5 minutes on each side. I'm going to do a minute on each side because otherwise we'll be here
watching you on the floor.
Watching me on the floor, wiggle around. Okay, I'm going to change sides. So again, now's a good time to stop and go for 5 minutes on each side, or even 10 minutes on each side. Remember, the quadratus lumborum is going from all of the lumbar vertebrae down. There's 5 of them. I'm going to put a picture up so you can see it. So you want to go all the way down each side, triggering and finding spots. Just going to give myself a little bit more time here. And that really hurts. So if you have any back pathologies, this is going to hurt. It's pretty much a given that your quadratus lumborum will be sore. Or if you're doing lots of exercise, your quadratus lumborum will be sore because it's a huge muscle that's working in the back all the time. Okay. So now, once we've released either side, remembering it's starting from the bottom rib here, and it's going all the way down, we're now going to move into releasing the glute area. Now in the glute area, we have a muscle called the piriformis. The piriformis is a nasty muscle when it gets tight because it pulls the pelvis into a rotation. So if you think, there's my sacrum and there's my femoral head, the piriformis is going to go across more or less in here somewhere. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and release the piriformis. Then we're going to come up and we're going to release all around the top of the glute. Then we're going to go on the side and we're going to release the top through here, which is going to help release the ITV band. Okay. So the first thing you do is you lift up, you go to the more or less the center of your butt cheek. Okay, now I'm up on top, and then I'm going to drop my leg to the side, and that's going to pop the piriformis out for you to feel. Then you're going to roll around, and you're going to look for that painful, it's not that hard to find the piriformis, to be honest, it's super painful when you hit it. And then you're going to sit on it. Now, as women, we tend to be a little bit more, I don't know why, but we tend to be a little bit more sensitive in our glutes, so you can spend like 5-10 minutes on each butt cheek if you want. I spend about how
a lot of time.
How much time do I spend on my butt cheeks, Mandy?
Sometimes up to 10 minutes each side, or maybe more.
Mandy just keeps finding me in the house, laying on the floor.
Like, do you have to be laying in the middle of the floor?
Rolling on balls. I'm always rolling on balls. Okay,
and leaving the balls. And leaving the balls.
And then leaving the balls. She actually said to me today that she's sick of me leaving my clips, balls, and shoes around.
We're running a service here.
Okay, so I'm just exploring my butt cheek. Now you can even come really close into the sacral area, as long as you don't go on the bones. And you can kind of edge up and down and around along the bones. Okay, so now again would be a good time to stop the video, play around with your own butt cheek for a bit, spend 5 minutes on each side, and then come back to me. Okay, I'm going to swap sides. It's going to get hot. It's going to get real hot. Okay, so this is my damaged leg as well from my back injury. So I'm hitting at the moment my piriformis, and my whole leg is starting to shake because it's had the nerve damage in the leg. So those of you that have had disc pathologies, don't be surprised if you get some sort of reverb down the leg. Okay, so for those of you that have spent their time with the video off and you come back on, we're now going to turn to our side and we're going to go into this area. Laying on the side. Oh! And it hurts a lot. Okay. You're just going to play around, and your trigger points are always things that kind of take your breath away a little bit, and that's what you're looking for. Okay, also make sure you've got a pillow to make it as comfortable as possible. And you can see I'm getting into some pretty crazy positions trying to get into where these points are. Honestly, it feels like there's just hundreds of points in the body, so you can kind of, it's a bit hit and miss, like, doesn't matter if you're not even on the right muscle. By releasing it, it's going to be releasing things in the body that's going to make the body feel better. Okay, now I'm going to work my way down my ITB band. I'm just going to apply pressure. The ITB band is the band that runs all the way down the side of the leg. If you go like this over your knee, you'll feel a really hard, dense band. That's your ITB band. Changing position. Now I'm cross-frictioning backwards and forwards over it. Changing position. Now you'll find certain parts of the ITB band hurt more than others. So this is an alternative. If you've got if you've got a roller, then I would do the roller because it's much more. I don't know, it's easier because you're just kind of ironing the ITB band out. But if you don't have a roller, you can do the same thing with the ball. It just takes a little bit more time. Going all the way down to the insertion point where the knee is. Oh. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side. And again, all of this, stop the video and have a play around. I can't do it for as long as I would normally do it because I've mainly said otherwise you'll be watching me just lay around on the mat chatting away to myself because Mandy's not chatting with me.
I'm here with you.
She's here with me. We're always here together. Because I still think that I'm in lockdown. Ah! Okay, hit the point.
Found it.
Oof. Now, if they feel
can't be good for the body. Okay, so by releasing this, it has to make the body feel better, because you're releasing not only the trigger point, you're starting to release the fascia over the muscle. Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm going to go down into my ITB band. Anyone that has any knee problems, you've got to make sure that you're releasing your ITB bands. If your ITB bands are tight, that's not going to make your knees feel good. Backwards and forwards. And the fun thing about doing ball releases, you can just do them when you're watching TV.
Which Natalia does.
Which I do as well. Basically, I'm just spending my whole day doing Pilates and rolling around on balls. Not really.
No.
Yeah, I'm just moving my leg around, just changing different positions. And again, I repeat, all of these releases you need to be doing much longer than what I'm doing before. All right, okay, so new stretch for most of you. So I'm going to turn the mat around this way so you can see. Those of you that have knee issues, be careful with this because it is quite strong on the knees. This is a great quadricep stretch. It's a great ITB stretch. So you're going to put your leg like that. You're going to pull your calf aside so you can drop down to your hips. So this is already a stretch for me. I'm then going to slowly lean myself back. Okay, now I've got ITB stretching, I've got quadricep stretching, and I can now start to feel a little bit of my psoas stretching, and I can also start to feel a little bit of my iliacus, which is inside my hips, starting to stretch. I'm then going to drop to my elbows. Now, some of you can go all the way back. I can't because I find this a very strong stretch. And I don't actually think it's necessary to go all the way back. I'm just going to stay here for 15 more seconds. Okay, now I'm going to slowly come back up, very slowly. I'm taking a lot of respect into my right knee at the moment. I'm going to drop myself to my left, so I'm taking the load off of this leg. Okay, that's important. As you come up and you take the load off of the leg. Slowly unwind the leg and then come back to a parallel position. Do not race that, okay? You've just had your knee in a compromising position. You need to make sure that you respect it as you come out of the position. Okay. Just pulled my calf muscle out of the way and I'm just going to slowly come back.
Can you slide back a little? Oh yeah, I just lost you. I've lost your foot. I thought you were going to change from that.
Pardon? She's lost my foot. Can you see my body?
I can see your body.
Can you see my knee?
I can see your knee.
Andy lost focus in the video. Got to tell me.
You said you were moving the mat.
I did move the mat back. I had it like that and I moved it back like this.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to slowly come up. Now watch as I'm coming up. I'm bringing my weight onto this leg. Okay, I'm taking the load off of this knee. And then I'm slowly coming back out. Okay. I'm going to spin the mat back around. To here. Okay. So now we're going to lay back on our backs. We're going to cross one leg over the other. I'm going to bring both my legs back. I'm going to hold on to my legs and I'm going to slightly pull them away from each other. So I'm getting a good stretch, mostly in my right leg. Changing sides, cross my legs over each other, hold onto my calves or my shins, and then pull. Now those of you that have tender psoas or hip flexors, you might feel at the moment in here, where the tail of the psoas is, because I'm compressing it on the tail of the psoas, so you may also feel like a pressure that's happening inside the hip. Lifting up, grabbing your pillow, and we're going to do a psoas stretch, which all of you are very familiar with, and I'm putting it in this so you're kind of getting a nice repertoire of stretches together. So, am I in frame, Mandy?
Good.
Okay. Firstly, you can see the angle of my foot is out. I'm tucking with my pelvis. I'm activating the tail of the psoas. I'm going to come all the way down. Okay, so this is like if I was on the reformer. This hand comes here, here, and we're going to relax. You can see my foot at the back is also over my toes, so we're stretching the plantar fascia out of the foot. So I'm going to start doing different videos with different releases, so using different apparatus, and we'll do some more release work with a roller. I'd love it all if you could get all the little yoga blocks. We can start doing some nice release work with the yoga blocks. Changing sides. This foot's going out, tucking under.
Yeah, if people are in Barcelona, they can get the yoga
The little
block.
yoga blocks at where? Tiger.
Tiger, yeah. And they're only a couple of euros each.
And I'm going to do a class next Monday in a Zoom class in Australia. I'm going to join my sister's Zoom class, and my sister is just a phenomenal teacher, and she's going to teach me some new nerve stretches, so that's exciting. She's quite obsessed with the old nerve stretch.
Exciting for the Laing sisters.
Yeah, we get excited over nerve stretches, fascia stretches, releases. Little bits of new things, but then always coming back to the fundamentals. It's very interesting. We've been apart now for 15 years, and we still teach in such a similar way, even after being apart for so long.
Well, you're founders together, aren't you?
Yeah. Tucking under, leaning this hand's going to go here, this one's going to go here. Now I'm thinking of twisting from my 12th rib, that's my body one, and I'm twisting. Now while I'm twisting like this, I'm pulling on the diaphragm, I'm pulling on the QL, I'm stretching the psoas, they're all connecting into a very similar area.
Is there anyone who couldn't do this?
Maybe if your knees didn't like it, but no, this is pretty much safe for.
Can you lift your knee up, come out off of the bed, or
That would be very difficult. Oh, yeah, no.
not good?
Changing sides. Other leg comes out, tuck. Hand on the knee and twist. Hold it for another 10 seconds.
So this is the perfect Zoom class preparation.
Coming out of it. Okay, now even though we've done all these lovely releases, I'd really like to make sure that we restabilize at the end of doing any kind of release. So we're going to do one exercise, really easy. I say it's really easy, but all of my really easy exercises are not that easy because they require intelligence. But it's about pelvic floor and core and glutes. So we lay face down, hands under my head, take a breath in, breathe out. Firstly, I connect into my abs, my pelvic floor, and then I'm going to squeeze my glutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. Breath in. And breath out. Abdominals, pelvic floor, and glutes. 1, 2, 3, and breath in. And so you're probably asking, how can an exercise like this be important? It's important because I'm retelling my body, or I'm retelling my back, what are the muscles that need to be working to make this feel good? And they are my core, my transverse abdominis, my glutes. And so basically it's kind of rewiring the body again to think, oh yeah, if I just like use them rather than these other muscles to hold me up, I'm going to feel better. So an exercise as relaxing as the glute squeeze and the abdominal contraction is so good for your body.
And sometimes when you put the pillow in between people's knees?
You can put the pillow between your legs as well, which gives you something to squeeze onto, which is more fun. Deep breath in, breath out. I activate here, my pelvic floor. I lengthen my spine and I squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath in. Breath out. You don't even have to do many, we're just going to do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath in. Breath out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath in. Breath out. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and relaxing. So guys, I'd like you to try and do this, what I've just done, if you can, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, just to kind of get those releases into your body. And then what would be perfect now is if you went and did a Pilates class, and you would feel great through your Pilates class because you wouldn't be battling some of these lines that are tight from not having released them. So enjoy your day and see you soon.